command again. As you can see, when it runs, pulls up sandbox, and as you can see now, I can't do nothing with this. Look at this, it's locked up. It's locked up, it can't get out. It's locked up. Something like a little ACOM. You feel me? Locked up, you know what I'm saying? It can't get out. And I thought that just was so interesting. You can't even. And welcome to another walkthrough. Today we're going to be covering mandatory access control, and all that means is just making sure that everything that's running on your system is supposed to be running on your system. This is including applications, background processes. One of the tools that's going to be covered through the tryhackme room is AppArmor. But if you stick around to the end of the video, there is another tool utility that's available for when you're hardening an Ubuntu system, and it's called FireJail. I believe that really showcases the ability of hardening against an application attack, and I'll definitely give a demonstration of why I believe that. And let's get it. Let me go ahead and get out y'all way. As you can see, mandatory access control. This room is kind of all over the place. Let's just go ahead and we're going to focus specifically on AppArmor. They give you some information. I'll let y'all go ahead and get your research on, of course. They also have some command line utilities to go over. So they give you some command line utilities because when you're working with AppArmor, it's definitely going to be new to you if you're not used to working with SE Linux like I wasn't. So as you can see, you got to put sudo with it. Let's see if that gives me anything. Yeah. And right here is the part of the output I wanted to focus on, where it gives some information about the different modes that are running right here. You got enforce mode and complain mode, right? And you got, says 0 profiles are in complain mode. You got 2 processes have profiles defined, and 0 processes are in enforce mode, and 0 processes are in complain mode. This complain in the enforce mode, as I learned from just this tryhackme room, enforce is just letting you know it's going to enforce the active profile on that process, whatever it may be. And then complain mode is just allowing that process to perform. It's going to allow it to perform, like even if it's going to perform disallowed actions by that profile, but those are going to be logged. So that's the difference between enforce and complain. So complain, there's also another mode, which is learning mode, and the way I understand that is just basically learning the behavior of these certain profiles that are defined, that you can define yourself. So the other thing that they said that you should do is go ahead and enforce this AppArmor policy. So to do that, you're going to use the command sudo aa-enforce. Oh, first, to use any of these utilities, you do have to install them with sudo apt install AppArmor-util. That's going to give you the ability to go ahead and run these command utilities, which are setting up the profiles. But we're not doing none of that today. I'm just showing you just the basics of what I learned. Okay, yeah, so now if we run enforce, we have to run it against where the AppArmor profile is at, and that's going to be in the /etc/AppArmor.d. That's where the profile is, or all the default profiles that come with it. We're just going to enforce AppArmor on it right now. And then I'm going to run that status command and see if anything changed. We should have some changes now if we run status on it. As you can see, after we did that, we do have a change. We got 3 processes have profiles defined. Again, learning the commands and everything that go along with AppArmor. There's definitely links all through tryhackme, so I won't be providing those because you can get those through tryhackme, but and also the man page and everything for AppArmor. You could definitely get some more information. So now let me go ahead and clear my screen. That should take care of that. And right here, we're going to talk about FireJail next. And FireJail, like I said, is I like it because it definitely displays sandboxing, or how it's controlling these applications, a little bit better than AppArmor, at least for me and my beginner level of understanding. Okay, so anyways, I just went to some random site to get a sample PDF, right? So I've opened Firefox, so I'll just start from the beginning actually. So we can go Firefox, and then you're just gonna sample PDF. There it goes, and it'll take me right there. Right, so I don't know. This could be any kind of malicious content or embedded in this and everything. How I'm browsing, I don't know if any security and all of that kind of stuff is set up. I haven't set none of that up. This is just the VM that's probably vulnerable, I guess, whatever, in my setup or whatever. So let's go ahead and download it anyway, right? And now we go ahead and check out the status, and then we show it in folder, right? Here it is in the folder right there. That's okay. So now, since it's downloaded, let me open it up here. Who knows? I could have exposed myself, everything. I think this is a pretty legitimate site. Hopefully nothing happened. If it did anyways, it's a VM, whatever. What I wanted to show now is if we use FireJail. So let's go ahead and close this, and let's go ahead and delete this. All right. And let's close this browser out. Now open the terminal, and right here, let me go ahead and get my notes out, because you know I'm going to have to break that syntax down for you. For anybody taking notes out there, this is what that syntax means if you're going to use FireJail to sandbox your web applications or sandbox applications on your computer as well, or on your system. So the syntax is as follows. So FireJail, you're just calling out that application, and then you got the -- SECCOMP. That stands for Secure Computing Mode. It's enabled by default, but it's being shown here for just awareness that you know that this is an option. And all this option does is make sure that processes can't make system calls. So when you use this option, whatever processes are running whenever you run this command, they can't just make system calls. Let's move forward. We got none wprivs, so pretty much no write privileges. And this is ensuring that no child processes can, you know, escalate their privileges to some kind of admin level, right? Then we got -- private. This one is interesting to me. This is where it creates a new root and home user directory and temp files. And then any kind of modification in them temp files are all discarded once this application or process, whatever you pull up, is closed. And then you got that private -tmp. And I believe that's where it just creates the folder. I'm not too sure about that one. You could definitely use FireJail man page help to see what that part was. But basically, these private options are creating a temporary folder that gets discarded, which I thought was really, really interesting. So now we're right here at Firefox. We're just specifying the web browser that we want to run all of this in FireJail with. So once we do that, you'll see a whole bunch of output like this, and then you'll get a process of Mozilla running. But you see all of that in the background. You're being protected by FireJail. And a way that I was able to kind of test this out was, again, we go to that sample PDF. Should be, I think it was right here, this test one. So I went to the same site as I did previously before this application or this web browser was sandboxed. Now it's sandboxed by FireJail. As you can see right here, FireJail Firefox. That's what's running, right? So now I'm going to download it. It still let me download it, right? I'm in my downloads folder, but as you can see, it's empty. So that's different, right? Before it showed you what was in my recent download folder, which was that a book, PDF. So now I'll save it there anyways, right? And it's completed. So now it's downloaded, so we could show it in the folder. But every time I click show in folder, nothing. And that's exactly what's causing, the FireJail is causing that to not show you anything in the downloads folder like that. Because it's protecting it. It's a kernel enhancement, meaning that it's protecting it on a different level. pretty much is the way that I understand it. So even if I go into my downloads folder right here, it's not showing up in my actual downloads folder due to that kernel enhancement being worked on by FireJail, right? By sandboxing that web browser. So that's one thing, right? So now let's go ahead and close this, and I'll go ahead and close this out. As you can see, it stops running and you get your web browser, normal web browser back. But FireJail also does one more thing. Let me go ahead and show you that. So let's say you did want to download something you downloaded. Let's say it's this, right? I know that this is a good PDF. I got it. I'm the one who sent it. I sent it to myself, so I know it's a valid PDF. But let's say I downloaded that from that website and I thought it was a malicious thing. What you could do is you could make a copy of it, go to other locations right here, go to computer, and go into this TMP folder. And as you can see, I already have a copy of it over here because I was messing with it earlier. So let's see what that does, right? Let me hit up arrow a couple times. And right here, we'll just use that sample PDF file. This was the sample PDF. It's in that TMP folder through my root directory. If I use FireJail command, remember secure computing, non-write privileges, private, start creating all these private directories and temp folders so that this application can't break out. Net equals none. This one is used to deny any kind of network access to programs that don't really need it, like this PDF. I don't want it communicating back to somebody's computer on the internet that might be a bad actor, right? So that's what that will prevent. You got X11, that prevents keylogger apps that are started inside the sandbox from accessing clients running outside the sandbox. Then you got this dash whitelist option, and that just points it to the file that you're gonna run this FireJail against. And then Events is just a PDF viewer for Ubuntu or this Linux distribution, and then it's pointing also to that PDF. So let's go ahead and clear this out the way and then run this command again. As you can see, when it runs, pulls up sandbox, and as you can see now, I can't do nothing with this. Look at this. It's locked up. It's locked up. It can't get out. It's locked up. Something like a little ACOM. You feel me? Locked up. You know what I'm saying? It can't get out. And I thought that just was so interesting. You can't even, you feel me? You can't do nothing. You could zoom in here. You feel me? Or you could zoom in with that like Control Plus, and like you could do a little bit of stuff, but it's very limited. It's not going to be able to do nothing. And with AppArmor combined with this, you really harden this stuff. Well, my friends, or my ninjas, all my ninjas out there, I should say, because y'all my ninjas. That brings us to the end of another one, and we'll go ahead and wrap that up. I hopefully it brought some value. Please, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tapping in and holla at me.